Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, September 11th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, college football, NFL, WNBA, and look ahead to today and the weekend. Tennis, golf, NASCAR, best bet at the end of the show as well. We'll start with the NBA playoffs. There was one game last night. The Lakers defeated the Rockets 110-100 to take a 3-1 series lead. This was looking like a blowout. Then the Rockets came back. It was proven to be too little, too late. Anthony Davis, 29 points for the purple and gold. LeBron had 16, 15, and 9. Russell Westbrook led the Rockets in scoring in this one with 25 points. Tonight, 6:30 TNT of the Nuggets and the Clippers. Game number 5. Clippers can close out tonight with the win. 8-point favorites over the Nuggets. I would make this Clippers by 3. And my projected total for this one is 225.5. I like the Nuggets in the over. I think the Nuggets have a shot to win this outright to force to Game 6, but I'm just going to play it safe and say the Clippers close it out and go to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history. So, give me the Nuggets plus 8. And I will take a stab at the over 216 as well, as I expect the Clippers to close out what should be a competitive game tonight. And a big-time Game 7 tonight in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors at 9 o'clock. Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson in all likelihood on the call. Boston's giving 2.5. The over-under is 204. That is a crazy total, but it is a Game 7. So that makes sense to why the total is so low. I think this is the rare time I take the over in a Game 7. Because it's so low. But the side I'm going to go here is Toronto. I project them to be favored by 4.5. By the way, I project the total 221. I feel better about I actually feel better about the over than I do about the Raptors. It's weird. I'm going to take the Raptors plus the 2.5, and I'm going to do the over 204, as I think the Raptors will advance to the Eastern Conference Final for the second year in a row, and then the Celtics are going to have an interesting offseason ahead. So, give me the Raptors getting 2.5 and the over in that game. Saturday, 8 o'clock ESPN, Lakers-Rockets, game number 6. I would project this line to be somewhere around 6 for the Lakers. I think they close out. Good run for the Rockets, winning game 1, but I just don't think that they'll force a Game 6. This isn't going to be 2015 all over again. And you could say the same thing about the Clippers, too. So, give me the Lakers in this game. And I'm actually going to say the Rockets cover, but the Lakers will get it done. I think this will be a close game. I'm going to say the Lakers win 115-110. And Sunday, 1 o'clock ESPN would be Game 6 between the Clippers and the Nuggets. But let's say, what if the Nuggets pull out that win? Then I expect the Clippers to close out the Nuggets over the weekend. So, there you have it for the NBA for today. Now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll go over last night's game and look ahead to the weekend. The Dallas Stars defeated the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime to take a 2-1 series lead. Alexander Radulov with the game winner. Number 3 started the game with the goal, Shea Theodore. Number 2 started the game with the overtime winner, Alexander Radulov. And the number 1 star of the game with 38 saves on 40 shots, Anton Khudobin, who has been awesome in the postseason thus far. Tonight, 8 o'clock on the USA channel, you have the Lightning and the Islanders. Tampa Bay is a pretty big favorite here at minus 165. The Isles are plus 140, over under 5.5. I think the Islanders, this is going to be the game that they get it done and at least make this interesting. So, give me the Islanders to finally come through against the Lightning to make this series a tiny bit more interesting. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on NBC, the Golden Knights and the Stars. Vegas is a whopping minus 180 favorite. Dallas plus 155 on the money line. I'm going to go with Vegas to even up that series at 2 apiece. I think there's a chance that series goes 7. I had Vegas in 6, but I think there's a chance that goes 7. And then Tampa Islanders might end up going 5. 3 o'clock NBC, Lightning Islanders. That's going to be going up against football in terms of ratings. Game 4, I'm going to say the Lightning win Game 4. And by the time we're doing this podcast on Monday, that the Tampa Bay Lightning will have a 3-1 series lead over the New York Islanders. And that the Vegas-Dallas series will be 2-2. Now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to the slate tonight. Cardinals over the Tigers 12-2 in 7 doubleheader game 1. Cards 19-17, Detroit 19-23. Athletics over the Astros 3-1. Oakland 27-15, Houston 22-23. Angels over the Rangers 6-2. I lose best bet. Angels 18-27, Texas 15 and 28. Tigers over the Cardinals 6-3, game 2 doubleheader. Detroit 20-23, St. Louis 19-18. Braves over the Nationals 7-6. The Braves are 26-18. Washington 16-26. Royals over the Indians 11-1. Brady Singer had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning. The infield hit. It was a 2-out single through an infield shift. That was the first hit Singer allowed. Royals 17-28. Cleveland 26-18. So that was the coming out party for Brady Singer. Marlins over the Phillies 7-6. The Marlins 20-19. Philadelphia 21-19. And this ended on a walk-off single by Jorge Alfaro. So yet another disappointing loss for the Philadelphia Phillies. Red Sox over the Rays 4-3. Boston 16-21. Tampa 28-16. Cubs over the Reds 8-5. The Cubs 26-19. Cincinnati 19-25. Giants over the Padres, other way around, 6-1. Pods 29-17. San Francisco 23-22. Diamondbacks over the Dodgers 5-2. So the Diamondbacks finally get it done against the Dodgers with Madison Bumgarner on the bump. Arizona 16-29. Dodgers 32-13. Yankees Orioles postponed yesterday due to weather. Doubleheader today. And that's the first game on the board. Game 1, Orioles at the Yankees. Alex Cobb and Garrett Cole. 5 o'clock, doubleheader game 1. Phil's Marlins. Aaron Nola, and we don't know who's going for Miami. I guess that's a COVID makeup game. 6 o'clock, Fox Sports 1. Braves Nationals. Josh Tomlin and Eric Feed. I like the Nationals a lot here in this spot. They are an underdog. Feed is a promising young arm. He's fallen off a little bit after a promising start to the season. The Nats on the money line are plus 128. So give me the Nationals in an upset over the Braves on national television tonight. 6:30 Mets Blue Jays, Jacob deGrom and Chase Anderson. I would consider the Blue Jays tonight too as a dog at plus 172. I know deGrom is so great, but the Blue Jays are just playing well right now, with the exception of that loss against the Yankees on Wednesday night. Rays hosting the Red Sox. Andrew Triggs and Blake Snell. Doubleheader game 2, Orioles-Yankees. Keegan Aiken and Masahiro Tanaka. 8 o'clock Pirates-Royals. Stephen Brault and Chris Bubick. Athletics-Rangers. Mike Fiers and Jordan Lyles. Tigers-White Sox. Casey Mize and Lucas Giolito. Cubs-Brewers. John Lester and Brandon Woodruff. Might consider betting the Cubs tonight as a dog, too. They are plus... I don't even have that line up in front of me. But that's an underdog I'd consider. Getting the Chicago Cubs plus money is enticing to me. Indians, Twins, Shane Bieber and Kenta Maeda. I'd take a look at the Twins, too, against Shane Bieber. Because you're never going to see... But you could argue the Indians have value. They're, according to ESPN, are minus 115. But if the Twins were a bigger underdog, I'd consider it. Doubleheader game 2, Phil's Marlins. We don't know who's going for Philly. And Trevor Rogers is going for Miami. Reds, Cardinals, 8:15. Luis Castillo and Adam Wainwright. Angels, Rockies, 8:30. Griffin Canning and German Marquez. 9 o'clock, Giants, Padres, Johnny Cueto and Garrett Richards. And 9:30, Mariners, Diamondbacks, Yusei Kikuchi and Caleb Smith making his Diamondbacks debut Saturday. 1 o'clock, Orioles, Yankees from the stadium. Dean Kramer and Jordan Montgomery. 5 o'clock, doubleheader game 1, A's, Rangers. Chris Bassett and TBD. I guess that's a COVID makeup game. 6 o'clock, Braves, Nationals, Ian Anderson and Patrick Corbin. Phillies, Marlins, Spencer Howard and Jose Urena. 6:30, Mets, Blue Jays, Seth Lugo. We don't know who's going for Toronto. 6:40, Boston at Tampa. We don't know who's going for Boston, and Tyler Glasnow is going for the Rays. 7 o'clock, the Pirates and the Royals, Trevor Williams and Carlos Hernandez. Fox Sports 1 at 7 o'clock, Tigers, White Sox. Michael Fulmer, we don't know who's going for the White Sox. Maybe Ronaldo Lopez, because somebody went on the injury list. Oh, it was Dallas Keuchel. And that's a big loss for the White Sox. That might cost them the division. Cubs, Brewers, Kyle Hendricks and Brett Anderson. 8 o'clock on Fox, doubleheader game 2. Oakland at the Rangers. We don't know who's going for Oakland. Colby Allard for Texas. That'd be funny if it was Mike Minor, so he'd go up against his former team. And then 8 o'clock on Fox again. Astros at the Dodgers. Framber Valdez, Tony Gonsolin. So that's an interesting one. And then the other one on Fox is Indians Twins, Zach Plesac and Rich Hill. Mariners Diamondbacks, Justice Sheffield and Zach Gallen. Angels Rockies, Jaime Barria and Kyle Freeland. Reds Cardinals at 8:15, Anthony DeSclafani and Dakota Hudson. Maybe I'd bet the Reds if they were... Or I'm sorry, I didn't realize that DeSclafani's ERA is 7.2. But maybe I'd consider the Reds. I guess I confused him with the other pitcher, Tyler Mahle. And then 9 o'clock, Giants, Padres, Kevin Gausman and Dinelson Lamet. Sunday, 12:30, Braves, Nationals, Kyle Wright, Max Scherzer. 1 o'clock, Orioles, Yankees, John Means and Jay Happ. Doubleheader game 1, Phillies, Marlins, Zach Eflin, and we don't know who's going for Miami. Red Sox, Rays, Martin Perez, Charlie Morton. 2 o'clock, Pirates, Royals, Chad Cole, Brad Keller. Tigers, White Sox, Spencer Turnbull, and we don't know who's going for the White Sox. 2 o'clock, TBS, Cubs, Brewers, Alec Mills and Adrian Hauser. I'm going to go with the Cubs here. Alec Mills has been a promising rookie despite a mediocre ERA. In terms of the Fox game picks, I'm going to go with the Indians, the Dodgers, and Oakland. I just forgot to mention that earlier. Indians Twins is also 2 o'clock on Sunday. Tristan McKenzie and Michael Pineda. This is a game where I consider the Indians. Reds Cardinals 2:15. Tyler Mahle, and we don't know who's going for the Cards. I thought I confused Tyler Mahle stats with Anthony DeSclafani for the Reds. That's why I made that comment that I'd look at the Reds. Maybe I'll look at them on Sunday against the Cardinals. 2:30, Oakland at the Rangers. Frankie Montas and Lance Lynn. I'd consider betting the Rangers as a dog with Lance Lynn, if they're your dog. 3 o'clock, Mets Blue Jays. David Peterson and Robbie Ray. Angels Rockies. Andrew Heaney and Ryan Castellini. Mariners Diamondbacks. Justin Dunn and Luke Weaver. Now we're in the 4 o'clock window. Giants Padres. Logan Webb and Mike Clevenger. Doubleheader game 2. Phils Marlins. Vince Velasquez and Sixto Sanchez. I definitely bet on the Marlins in that game. And the Astros and the Dodgers. Christian Javier and Julio Urias on Sunday Night Baseball. Of course, it's this game because World Series rematch. Got to go with the Dodgers. I like Urias a lot. He's been solid this season. I would maybe consider the under in this game too, if the number is over 9. So give me Julio Urias and the Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball against the Astros. Now we'll move on to college football. We'll look back on last night's game and look ahead to the weekend slate. The game was a little bit interesting in the first half, and then it got away in the second half. Miami defeated UAB by a score of 31-14. Miami 1-0, UAB 1-1. De'Ara King, 16-24, 144 yards and a touchdown. And the quarterback of UAB, Tyler Johnson, in the third, 15-23, 150 yards and a touchdown. SMU TCU was supposed to be tonight, but it was postponed due to COVID-19. And now to the games on Saturday. 12 o'clock, you have Syracuse against North Carolina. These projections are going to be way off for these first couple weeks, and then I'll adjust. I only have UNC by 4.5 as my projected line here, amazingly enough. And they are gigantic favorites at 23.5, over under 65.5. I'm going to take the orange to cover. Too much smoke up the butts of the Tar Heels. So give me Syracuse to cover, but Carolina obviously to win. You have Louisiana and Iowa State. I would make it 15. Iowa State's favored by 11, so I'd lay the 11 with the Cyclones tomorrow against Louisiana. Charlotte and Appalachian State. App State's minus 16.5, over under 59.5. I would make it 18, so that's the closest projection thus far. I take the over. I think this is going to be an offense game, so that's going to be my play for that one, although I expect App State to win. Eastern Kentucky at West Virginia. I'd make West Virginia minus 35.5. It's 40.5, so a difference here of 5 points. Over under 55.5. I am going to take... this is tough. 5-point differential towards Eastern Kentucky just by 5 points. 55.5. I'm going to take the points with Eastern Kentucky. I don't think West Virginia is going to be that great this year. I just think West Virginia is going to win, but not cover the 40.5. I have a 5-point differential on that. Arkansas State at Kansas State. I have Arkansas State actually as the favorite in this game by 5 points. Kansas State's favored by 11.5. I'm taking Arkansas State getting the 11. I don't think they'll win outright like my numbers are suggesting, maybe, but I'm going to take the 11.5 points as I expect this to be a competitive game. Louisiana Monroe at Army. I have Army favored by 21.5. They're favored by 20.5, so 1 point off from the projection. Over under 53.5. Army's offense actually looked good last week. I'm going to take the over 53.5 here, as the value is sitting there at minus 108. You got Duke at Notre Dame. Now, that's 2:30 NBC. By the way, UL Monroe Army, 1:30 CBS Sports Network. 2:30 NBC, Duke against Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame favored by 35.5. And then I'm favored by 20.5. I'm going to lay the 20.5 with Notre Dame. They are much better than Duke this year. 3:30 ABC, you got Georgia Tech at Florida State. I have Florida State projected as a 15-point favorite. They are favored by 11.5. I'm going to lay the 11.5 with the Seminoles. I do not feel strong about that one. ESPN 2, 3:30 UTSA, Texas State. Texas State's a 9.5-point favorite. I would make UTSA actually a 4.5-point favorite. I think UTSA can win this game outright. Give me the 9.5 for UTSA. 4 o'clock ACC Network, Austin P at Pitt. For whatever reason, that game is not on my screen here. ESPN has Pitt favored by 27.5. I have Pitt favored by 36, so I'd lay the 27 with Pitt in that game. 7 o'clock, Missouri State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is favored by 42.5. I have Oklahoma by 42.5. Ironically enough, the first correct line of the podcast. I'd just stay away. Maybe I bet the over, whatever that is. And obviously Oklahoma will win. The Citadel against USF on ESPNU. USF is favored by 20.5. ESPN has it at 20.5. I have it at 32. So I actually lay the points with USF against the Citadel. 7:30 ABC, Clemson at Wake Forest. Clemson is a whopping huge favorite. 33.5. I'd make it 36. So I feel like I'm getting 2.5 points of value here at Clemson. But I'm actually going to go with the over 59.5. I feel very good that Clemson will put up at least 50. All Wake Forest has to do is put up 10 or more. So give me the over 59.5. And plus, I think Clemson's defense is not as good as years past. So I expect Wake Forest to score a little bit on them. Give me the over 59.5 in that game. ESPN 2, Tulane at South Alabama at 7:30. Tulane is a 10-point favorite. I'd make Tulane 12.5, so 2.5-point differential. Over under 52.5. I'm going to go with the over. I think that both of these teams are going to score, although I expect Tulane to win. 8 o'clock, Houston Baptist, Texas Tech. I have Texas Tech minus 39.5 on FanDuel, and I made it 36.5, so 3-point differential. I'm actually going to take the points here, but Texas Tech, I think, will win, but I'll probably bet on the over as my actual play for this game. ACC Network, Western Kentucky against Louisville. Louisville's favored by 11.5. I have it 17.5. I'm going to lay the 11.5 with Louisville. I saw Scott Van Pelt yesterday pick Western Kentucky, but my numbers disagree with him, so I'm going to go with Louisville minus 2 points. Next up, UTEP against Texas. I have Texas projected as a 36.5-point favorite, and FanDuel has it at 42.5, over under 57.5. I'm going to take the over in this game. I think Texas is just going to toy around in that one. And then 10 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Kansas hosting Coastal Carolina. Kansas is favored by 6.5. I have it at 5. Over under 56.5. I'm going to actually take an under here in this game. I think Kansas will win, but I'm going to go with the under as my actual play in this game. Now I'm going to go over last night's NFL opening night game and look ahead a little bit to tonight. I'm sorry, the weekend. What am I saying? Chiefs over the Texans 34-20. Chiefs 1-0. Houston 0-1. Patrick Mahomes 24-32, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson 20-32, 353 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Texans actually were up 7-0 in the first quarter. David Johnson 19-yard run, 7-0. Second quarter, Mahomes to Kelsey 6 yards, 7-7. Then Mahomes to Sammy Watkins for 2 yards, 14-7. Butker field goal to close out the half, 17-7 at halftime. Third quarter, 27-yard run by the rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 24-7. Fourth quarter, 3 yards Mahomes to Tyreek Hill, 31-7. Then Houston stops the bleeding a little bit, makes it 31-13, 2-point conversion missed. Watson to Jordan Akins. And then again, in garbage time, Deshaun Watson 1-yard rushing touchdown, 31-20. And then Harrison Butker, 19-yard field goal for my over to hit, as I win my first NFL bet of the season. And now we will pick the weekend's games. Lines obviously courtesy of FanDuel. We'll start off with the Bears at the Lions. I have the Lions giving 3 as the line on FanDuel. I project this line to be 1.5. So you would think I take the Bears here. Over under is 42.5. My projected score for this game – 23-17 Lions. I hate that the line's 3. I absolutely hate that the line is 3. I am going to take the under 42.5 as my play here. I think the Lions will win. I just can't stand that the number's at 3. If it's 3.5, I would consider the Bears in that spot. So give me the under as my play in that game. Next up, you got the Browns at the Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 7.5, over under 48.5. I project the Ravens to be favored by 3. So give me the Browns getting the 7.5. I think this will be a fun game. Over under 48.5. My projected final score here, 33-27. So I think the Browns will sneak in a back door here. Although I take the over here as well. Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. I have to make a quick adjustment here. I apologize. Because Danielle Hunter will not play. So I got to take off a half point for the Minnesota Vikings. I have them projected as a 2.5 point favorite. And that's what the line is, over under 44.5. My final score projection here for this game, 24-20 Minnesota. So I'm going to take the under 44.5. And obviously the Minnesota Vikings to win. You got the Colts and the Jaguars. Colts favored by 7.5, over under 45.5. I have the Colts projected as 8-point favorites. So a half point off. 45.5 is the total. I'm going to lay the points with the Colts in this game. I think that the Jaguars are among the absolute worst teams in the league. I just think they're god-awful. And I think that this is going to be somewhat reminiscent to the Colts, or the Ravens-Dolphins game from last year in terms of an impressive win. So give me the Colts minus the points, and I'm going to make this one of my Fab Fives of the weekend. And my projected score for this game, 33-16 Colts. Next up, you got the Raiders at the Panthers. The Raiders are 3-point road favorites, over under 47.5. I actually have I have Vegas as a 1.5 point favorite. I'm going to take Carolina in the 3. Worst case scenario, Vegas wins by 3. I'm going to predict that Carolina wins the game outright. There's always that weird upset that happens in week 1, that a lot of people are high on one team and then low on the other. Some people think that the Panthers will be the worst team in the NFC. I'm going to say that the Panthers got it done 23-20, which would also mean an under, although a lot of people like the over in that match. So I'm going to take the Panthers getting 3. And if it goes down, which it probably will, I'm screwed. Miami at the Patriots. The Patriots are minus 6.5, over under 42. I make New England minus 3. I'm taking the Dolphins in the 6.5. I'm making this an upset pick of the week. I think the Dolphins win this game outright. And I am going to say that they get it done on the back of Ryan Fitzpatrick by a score of 27-23. And I think it's going to be reminiscent of the game from last year. The Jets at the Bills. The Bills are minus 6.5, over under 39.5. I would project the Bills to be 7.5. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the Bills. This is another one of my Fab Fives of the week. So give me the Bills minus 6.5 against the Jets. The Eagles at the football team. Eagles minus 5.5, over under 42.5. I project the Eagles to be 7.5. So I'm going to lay the 5.5 with the Philadelphia Eagles in that game. Seattle at the Falcons. Seattle's minus 2.5, over under 49. I project the Seahawks to be 1.5. But my play in this game is going to be the over 49. I think this is going to be a shootout of a game, back and forth. Won't be that surprised if the Lions or the Falcons win. I actually have this score projected 27-20. So I do like the over, although I did write 27-20. Now I'm going to change that projection to 30-23. So I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment to bet my over in that game. 4 o'clock window now, the Chargers at the Bengals. Chargers are 3-point favorites over under 41.5. I project the Chargers to be 3-point favorites as well. In terms of a pick for this game, I'm going to go with the over 41.5. I think that this will be an entertaining game. I think that both teams could be in the 20s, so give me the over 41.5. 425, Cardinals at the 49ers. 49ers all the way down to 6.5, over under 48.5. I have San Francisco as a 3-point favorite. Give me Arizona plus the points. I think 49ers will win, but Arizona covers. And the marquee game of the week, Buccaneers at the Saints. Saints minus 3.5, over under 47.5. I project Tampa by a half with Mike Evans likely out. I think Tampa still wins this game outright. I just think that Tom Brady's going to come out and be motivated. And this should be a fun game. So give me the Buccaneers plus 3.5 against the Saints. Worst case scenario, Saints win by 3. And I win the bet. Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys at the Rams. The Cowboys are 3-point favorites over under 51.5. I love the Dallas Cowboys minus the 3. This is one of my Fab 5 picks of the week. So give me the Cowboys minus the 3. So, Monday Night Football we'll save for Monday with the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Football Giants and the Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. And one of those games is in my Fab 5, and I missed a Fab 5 game. I think my other Fab 5 was the Buccaneers getting the 3.5. I'm going to make that in my Fab 5, and then the other Fab 5 game will be on Monday night, which I'll give to you on the podcast on Monday. Now I'm going to go over the WNBA results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend's slate. Fever over to Liberty, 85-75. The Fever, 6-15. New York, 2-18. Aces over to Lynx, 104-89. Aces, 16-4. Minnesota, 13-8. Mystics over to Sparks, 80-72. Mystics, 7-13. LA, 15-6. Tonight, 7 o'clock, Dream in the Sun. Dreamer, 6-14. Sun, 10-11. 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, The Sky and the Wings. Sky, 11-10. The Wings, 7-13. The Sky are due. They're absolutely due. I think they'll get it done against the Wings, and they're going to have to win another day to get closer to that last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. 10 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, the Storm and the Mercury. Great game. The Storm are just very good right now. But if I'm not mistaken, they have that. No, they don't have the 1 seed locked up yet. But this is tough. I'm going to go with Seattle. I don't feel good about it. I think the Mercury have a shot to win this game outright, but I'm going to go with Seattle here to get it done. Saturday at noon, Mystics Liberty, 3 o'clock, Aces Sparks, and 6 o'clock, Lynx and the Fever. And then Sunday, makeup games across the board. 12 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Wings Liberty. I'm going to take Dallas here as they get closer to a playoff spot. 3 o'clock, ABC, the Aces and the Storm. Fantastic game. I'm going to go with Vegas as they're trying for that 1 seed. And then at 5 o'clock, a rescheduled game between the Mystics and the Atlanta Dream. All right, now we'll move on to the U.S. Open from yesterday, the semifinals. And then we'll look ahead to the men's tonight. Victoria Azarenka defeated Serena Williams in 3 sets, and Naomi Osaka defeated Jennifer Brady in 3 sets. And then the big final is on Saturday between Naomi Osaka and Victoria Azarenka. I think this is Naomi's tournament to lose. I really do. And I think she'll get it done against Azarenka. So give me Naomi Osaka over Victoria Azarenka for the title on the women's side for the U.S. Open. And then tonight you have Daniil Medvedev against Dominic Thiem, 6:30 on ESPN. Fantastic match. I'm going to go with Dominic Thiem to advance. And then going on right now on ESPN, Pablo Carreno Busta against Alexander Zverev. I'm going to go with Zverev here to advance, and it'll be Zverev against Thiem on Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to say that Dominic Thiem gets it done and wins the men's side of the U.S. Open. Now we'll move on to golf. We will go over the current leaderboard at the Safeway Open. It's been interesting thus far. And on top of the leaderboard right now with a score of 15 under, Sam Burns. Henry Higgs in second place, minus 13. Cameron Percy, minus 12 in third. Tied for fourth, you have James Hahn and Doug Game at 11 under. Tied for sixth, Pat Perez and Rob Oppenheim at 10 under. Eighth place, you have Russell Knox at 9 under. Big tie for ninth, Lucas Glover, Bud Cauley, Charles Schwartzel, Bo Huag, Xianjun Zhang, and MJ Doff at 8 under. Patrick Rogers is in the 15th place tie for 7 under. Brendan Steele is in the 23rd place tie at 6 under. So is Cesar V. So is DJ Trahan. Adam Putnam as well. Tied for 37th with 5 under. John Dommins in there in that tie. And J.H. Kim. Ju Huang Kim. In the tie for 45th, J.B. Holmes is in there. Brock Stewart, all with 4 under, those guys. Notables in the tie for 56 with 3 under, Shane Lowry, Mark Hubbard in that tie, C.T. Pond, Adam Schenk, Luke List. It's a big tie there for 56 with 3 under. Tied for 82nd with 2 under, the notables, Cameron Triangle, Dylan McCarthy. Tied for 91st or 4th with 1 under, Doc Redman, Phil Mickelson. Doc Redman was my pick to win this one. Tied 109th at even, Sergio Garcia is in there. Tyler Duncan's in the tie for 119th at 1 over. I'm just going through notables now. That's really it in terms of big names in the Safeway Open. We'll obviously go over the full results on the podcast on Monday. Now I'm going to do my NASCAR picks for the weekend. We are going to start with the Xfinity race, which is going to be tonight at 7 o'clock from Richmond. It should be a good race tonight down there. It's a fun track to watch. And without further ado, your starting lineup for the Xfinity Series for tonight. Ross Chaston, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Sieg, Austin Cindric, Riley Herbst, Michael Annett, Justin Haley, Matt Snyder, Josh Williams, Brendan Brown, Jesse Little, Alex Lobb, Justin Allgaier, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Colby Howard, Jeremy Clements, Brett Moffitt, Tommy Joe Martins, Matt Mills, Joe Graff Jr., Kaz Gralla, Chad Fincham, Bailey Curry, Dexter Bean, Jeb Burton, Kyle Busch, Mason Massive, JJ Yeley, BJ McLeod, Cody Vanderwall, Vinnie Miller, Stephen Licht, and Kyle Weatherman. In terms of a pick, I'm going to go with a driver that I think has had a good year this year and had some wins throughout the season. And that driver is Chase Briscoe, plus 650 to win the race. Kyle Busch, by the way, minus 139 favorite. So give me Chase Briscoe to win the Xfinity race. Truck Series went yesterday. I'm going to go over those results really quick. I didn't realize that they went yesterday at Richmond, which it makes sense because Xfinity's tonight and the Cup is on tomorrow night. And your winner in that race was Grant Effinger. And then you had Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes, Brett Moffitt, Tyler Ankrum, Cody Rohrbrock, David Reagan, Austin Hill, Timmy Hill, Stuart Friesen rounding out the top 10. I would have went Austin Hill in this race. He came in 8th. Rest of the results, Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, Sheldon Creed, Austin Wayne Smith, Tate Fogelman, Tanner Gray, Todd Gilliland, Christian X, Sam Meyer, Spencer Boyd, Clay Greenfield, Carson Hosvar, Derek Kraus, Jordan Anderson, Josh Belicki, Raphael Lesser, Johnny Sauter, Ryan Hauff, Trevor Bame, Norm Benning, Ray Cicerelli, Josh Rume, Danny Bone, Natalie Decker, Timothy Vaines, and Jennifer Jo Cobb. And now the starting lineup for tomorrow night's race at Richmond. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, Chase Elliott, Cole Custer, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Matt DiBenedetto, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Matt Inkle McDowell, Ryan Newman, Tyler Riddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, Chris Bell, Ty Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Brendan Poole, Bubba Wallace, John Hunter Nemechek, J.J. Yaley, Quinn Houff, Corey LaJoie, Reed Sorensen, Joey Gase, Timmy Hill, and James Davison. In terms of a pick, I want to go Kyle Busch, and I know he hasn't been all that great this season, but I am going to go with the driver that I think has had a good year. I think he's a rising star in the sport, and that is Ryan Blaney, 25-1. I think that's ridiculous value on a driver as good as Ryan Blaney. So I'm going to take that 25-1 and run. So give me Ryan Blaney to win the race at Richmond tomorrow night. Now I'm going to do my NFL punter rankings as we head closer to the season. Or I should say as we head into the first Sunday of the NFL season. The season got underway last night, obviously. So I'm going to do my punter rankings right now. 32, Rodney Clemens, Chiefs. 31, Sterling Hoftritter, Falcons. 30, Joseph Charlton, Panthers. 29, Braden Mann, Jets. 28, Jack Fox, Lions. 27, Ty Long, Chargers. 26, Brian Anger, Texans. 25, Bradley Pinion, Buccaneers. 24, Rigoberto Sanchez, Colts. 23, Jamie Gillian, Browns. 23, A.J. Cole III, Raiders. 21, Matt Hack, Dolphins. 20, Riley Dixon, Giants. 19, Logan Cook, Jaguars. 18, Kevin Herbert, Bengals. 17, Sam Koch, Ravens. 16, Andy Lee, Cardinals. 15, Chris Jones, Cowboys. 14, Mitch Wisnowski, 49ers. 13, Thomas Morstead, Saints. 12, Johnny Hecker, Rams. 11, Britton Colquitt, Vikings. 10, Cameron Johnston, Eagles. 9, Sam Martin, Broncos. 8, Tress Way, football team. 7, Dustin Colquitt, Steelers. 6, Pat O'Donnell, Bears. 5, Corey Bojoquez, Bills. 4, J.K. Scott, Packers. 3, Jake Bailey, Patriots. 2, Michael Dixon, Seahawks. And number 1, Brent Kern, Tennessee Titans. And now my top 100 NFL players of the season. I was supposed to do this on the preview predictions show, but I'm going to do it on today's show just to get it out of the way. 2 honorable mentions that didn't make the list but deserve recognition. It's two of Lamar Jackson's favorite weapons, Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews of the Ravens. And now my actual top 100. 100, Kenny Galladay, Lions. 99, Ronnie Stanley, Ravens. 98, Zach Ertz, Eagles. 97, Eric Hendricks, Vikings. 96, Alec Mack, Falcons. 95, Jason Kelsey, Eagles. 94, David Bakhtiari, Packers. 93, Cooper Kupp, Rams. 92, Tyler Lockett, Seahawks. 91, Keenan Allen, Chargers. 90, Chris Godwin, Buccaneers. 89, Stephon Diggs, Bills. 88, T.Y. Hilton, Colts. 87, Jason Peters, Eagles. 86, Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers. 85, Carson Wentz, Eagles. 84, Josh Jacobs, Raiders. 83, Devontae Adams, Packers. 82, Levante David, Buccaneers. 81, Darius Slay, Eagles. 80, Robert Quinn, Bears. 79, Tyron Smith, Cowboys. 78, Trey Turner, Chargers. 77, Teron Armstead, Saints. 76, Jamal Adams, Seahawks. 75, Micah Hyde, Bills. 74, David DeCastro, Steelers. 73, Marcus Peters, Ravens. 72, DeForest Buckner, Colts. 71, Linval Joseph, Chargers. 70, Javon Hargrave, Eagles. 69, Patrick Peterson, Cardinals. 68, Jimmy Garoppolo, 49ers. 67, Chris Harris Jr., Chargers. 66, Dak Prescott, Cowboys. 65, Baker Mayfield, Browns. 64, Odell Beckham Jr., Browns. 63, Ryan Kelly, Colts. 62, Cam Hayward, Steelers. 61, Grady Jarrett, Falcons. 60, Drew Brees, Saints. 59, Matt Ryan, Falcons. 58, Jalen Smith, Cowboys. 57, Yannick Ngakoue, Vikings. 56, Brandon Graham, Eagles. 55, Stephon Gilmore, Patriots. 54, Harrison Smith, Vikings. 53, Tre'Davious White, Bills. 52, Casey Hayward, Chargers. 51, Leighton Vander Esch, Cowboys. 50, Darius Leonard, Colts. 49, Tyreek Hill, Chiefs. 48, Amari Cooper, Cowboys. 47, Dalvin Cook, Vikings. 46, Adam Thielen, Vikings. 45, Mike Evans, Buccaneers. 44, Alvin Kamara, Saints. 43, Nick Chubb, Browns. 42, Aaron Rodgers, Packers. 41, Von Miller, Broncos. 40, Julio Jones, Falcons. 39, Richard Sherman, 49ers. 38, Saquon Barkley, Giants. 37, Ezekiel Elliott, Cowboys. 36, Lane Johnson, Eagles. 35, Derrick Henry, Titans. 34, Mitchell Schwartz, Chiefs. 33, DeMarcus Lawrence, Cowboys. 32, Danielle Hunter, Vikings. 31, Marshawn Lattimore, Saints. 30, Zach Martin, Cowboys. 29, Chris Jones, Chiefs. 28, Fletcher Cox, Eagles. 27, Chandler Jones, Cardinals. 26, Tom Brady, Buccaneers. Boy, that's weird to say. 25, Michael Thomas, Saints. 24, DeAndre Hopkins, Cardinals. 23, Deshaun Watson, Texans. 22, Travis Kelce, Chiefs. 21, Calais Campbell, Ravens. 20, Trent Williams, 49ers. 19, Bobby Wagner, Seahawks. 18, Derwin James, Chargers. 17, J.J. Watt, Texans. 16, Christian McCaffrey, Panthers. 15, Jalen Ramsey, Rams. 14, Minka Fitzpatrick, Steelers. 13, Lamar Jackson, Ravens. 12, Russell Wilson, Seahawks. 11, George Kittle, 49ers. 10, Laramie Tunsil, Texans. 9, Ryan Ramczyk, Saints. 8, TJ Watt, Steelers. 7, Khalil Mack, Bears. 6, Quentin Nelson, Colts. 5, Nick Bosa, 49ers. 4, Myles Garrett, Browns. 3, Joey Bosa, Chargers. 2, Aaron Donald, Rams. And number 1, if there wasn't any doubt, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Alrighty, now we will go on to quickly touch on today being the 19-year anniversary of 9/11. Obviously, they had the ceremony this morning down in Manhattan at the World Trade Center. It wasn't your typical ceremony because they did not have the people there reading off the names at the venue. There were voiceovers, but there were obviously a lot of people at the World Trade Center by that fountain where all the names are engraved. at the Memorial. And obviously all the stations had it on here in the New York metro area. The Yankees had a ceremony honoring the 19-year anniversary of 9/11. I expect other sports teams to be doing the same thing tonight in the other leagues. And obviously next year, 2021, is a special 20-year anniversary. The Yankees and the Mets play each other on 9/11 next year at Citi Field, and I think that's special of Major League Baseball to have the two New York teams play each other in what is going to be an emotional game next year, with hopefully fans in the stands for it as well. Before I go to best bet, quickly want to go over my big picks for the weekend for college football and the NFL. Each week I'm going to do a Fab 5 in college football and a Fab 5 in Major League Baseball, and then a money line pick of the week. The Fab 5 in college football was obviously harder to project. And I'm going to go with that Fab 5. I'm going to go with Louisville laying the points against Western Kentucky. Iowa State laying the points against the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. I am going to go with the UTSA Roadrunners getting the 6.5 against Texas State. I am going to go with Arkansas State getting the 12.5 against Kansas State. And then my last of the bunch is Syracuse getting the big number at North Carolina. And in my money line pick of the week, I'm going to go with the Roadrunners. Sometimes the money line pick is going to be a game that's included in the Fab 5, and other times it's not. But this week it's just a coincidence it is. The money line for UTSA is plus 210. So that's my money line pick of the week. UTSA over Texas State. And then my NFL Fab 5. My NFL Fab 5, I'm going to go with the Colts winning the 7.5 against the Jaguars. I just think that the Colts are so much better than the Jaguars. It's not even funny. I'm going to go with the Bills minus 6.5 against the Jets. The Bills are so much better than the Jets. I won't be shocked if the Jets scored the fewest points in the league this in week 1. I'm going to take the Cardinals getting the 6.5 at San Francisco. I just think that that's a competitive game. Division rivals. So Arizona getting the points. And then the other of the Fab 5 I'm going to stay, as I said, for Monday night. And then my double down play for FanDuel. Then that's what the Fab 5 was inspired by, the FanDuel thing that they partnered up with the Ringer for with the points. And my double down of the week, the Dallas Cowboys minus 2.5 against the Rams, which I'm going to call the lock of the week in terms of against the spread. My straight up lock of the week is the Colts over the Jaguars. There's no further discussion on that. And then my NFL moneyline pick of the week, it's kind of a ballsy one, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins plus 225 at New England. I mentioned earlier in the show. I won't be shocked if this is a reminiscent of the game in Week 17 where Ryan Fitzpatrick led the Dolphins comeback in New England against Brady and the Patriots, and we don't know how Cam Newton's going to look. Patriots have a lot of opt-outs on defense. I only projected the Patriots to be a 3-point favorite, so I'm going to say Miami wins the game outright, plus 225 for my moneyline pick of the week. And as I mentioned earlier, my last of the Fab 5 of the week is a Monday Night Football game, so we'll save that for Monday's show. And then my best bet of the day, also brought to you by FanDuel, the over 9.5 between the Rangers and the Athletics. Mike Fiers is getting the start for Oakland. He has not been that good. And then a no-name guy going for the Rangers, Garcia. The over's juiced at minus 115. I luckily got it at minus 110. So there you have it. Best bet, the Oakland, Texas over 9.5. It's at minus 115 right now, but I got it at minus 110. And that's it for the show today. I'll be back on Monday recapping everything from the weekend, from the NFL, college football, basketball, hockey, baseball, NASCAR, golf, tennis. Loaded weekend for sure. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.